Previously on Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice.
Well, if you would please.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
No, not you again, God, leave me alone.
Larry, stop being difficult, you piece of shit, motherfucker.
Oh, God, he's got me in a sleep hold. Oh, God.
Shh. Go to sleep, Larry, go to sleep. Yeah, there we there we go.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my God, that was so satisfying. Finally, peace and quiet. Ah.
All right, I'm gonna go drag his ass through the parking lot. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. And now for the grand finale. Hello! This is NicoB, back with some more Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice. We last left off and completed what's likely the first half of the final bit of the DLC case, and I gotta say, I really am liking now where it's going here. I thought it had a bit of a rough start, but I really found its footing now. Once we started focusing on Ellen and Soren and moved away from Larry and actual time travel. I did like the metaphorical use of time travel, though. The fact that because of his memory disorder, he was jumping back in time, quote unquote. I thought that was really cool and really clever. It's like I'm trying to think, like, could they have done that, but without making the time travel like really making like a legitimate possibility as to how this case was supposed to play out? I don't know. I could sort of see the idea, like they proposed that idea at the start, like, okay, well, we could do it this way, and that's how the time travel is really going to come into play. But it's like, but then we're gonna have to. It means we're gonna have to implement it into the actual story, which means it might start to sound really stupid. I don't know. That'd be kind of hard. I think maybe they could have just toned it down a bit, not really had a moment where we're like, it has to be time travel. I don't know. It gets kind of hard, but I do see at least what they were trying to do. And I kind of have to respect their, I guess, sticking to their guns there. I don't know. I mean, it was definitely a really good metaphor. I thought that was a really, probably the best part of this case so far. But yes, you guys also did tell me, yes, this amnesia is, or that this type of amnesia that he has is a real thing. It's called Anterograde Amnesia, and it's basically where you can't form new memories. And then there's another one it's like the opposite of that, where you can't access memories from your past. Oh man, God, brain is it's a weird thing, isn't it? It's a weird ass thing. Oh man. That would really be horrible, though. Oh, in both cases, this sounds pretty terrible. Also, you guys told me, last episode I was talking about, it's like, why do they always have to be like, I turned my thinking around, I turned it upside doodly? Well, the game is actually in Japan called Gyakuten Saiben, I believe. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but, which actually literally means turnabout, like the turnabout case or something. And I mean, the names of each of these cases is turnabout something, so I guess you could say it's such a major theme of everything in Phoenix Wright. I don't know, maybe the point is I've just played too many Phoenix Wright games by this point, you know? I'll be honest, I mean, while I have loved this series, like, overall, and, you know, I've had a lot of fun with it, I am kind of glad that this is going to be my last one for probably a while. I know there's the spin-off with Professor Layton and stuff, but that's not very high on my to-do list. I've got plenty of other things that's going to come way before that, if it ever happens. It's a really great series, but it follows a very kind of strict formula, and after a while, it just starts to wear thin. It's only so many times that you can churn the thinking around where it really feels like it's interesting or engaging, you know? I also saw a lot of you guys wondering why I hate Larry so much, but I think I'm going to hold some of my thoughts, like, for that, like, why I dislike Larry. I think I have at least a decent reason for disliking him. As well as for my thoughts, I think, for the entire series. I think I'm gonna save those for the end of this video, to sort of talk about. But anyway, move on to what would likely be the last bit of the Turnabout Time Traveler. Let's get started. So I do believe that the butler is, well, I think he's clearly the killer, but I also believe he's the fiance. And what I'm unsure about was, did he change the thing in the diary that Soren had accidentally killed his sister? Like, is that was that actually the truth, or did he change it from Bloomsberry? I think he probably changed it, right? So then the people wouldn't think he had a reason to want to kill Bloomsberry because, oh wait, Soren was really the one responsible, but he really was. But no, he isn't, because I changed that in his diary. September 23rd, District Court, defendant law number 3.
Now to face Pierce on the stand. I can't wait to see what his freak out is with this little, shoulder turret. I'm not sure if I should be surprised or not. I don't know. Should I even be surprised by this point? I mean, I called it like 5 episodes ago, so maybe not. One thing's for sure. He won't be an easy adversary.
So, you think Pierce did it?
Yes, Maya, yes. It's too early to say anything at this point. No, he didn't. But I do still think he's still hiding something. Nick! Ah, what, Larry? Why don't you pin everything else sore and loser back there? Looks like Larry still hasn't given up on Ellen. The Pierce guy's the real bad guy. The Sora and my Ellie will live happily ever after together, and I'll be left to rot in fucking hell, dude. Like, what the hell? Where's my happy ending? You're never gonna get a happy ending, Larry. You're always the same piece of shit every goddamn time. Larry, that's not the kind of thing a decent human being says. We all thought I'm not a decent human being, Nick.
Shame on you, Larry! Please!
Oh, boo fucking who? You think I don't know? I know I have to give up on my Ellie. But Nick, promise you'll make her happy. She deserves happily ever after, as long as it's with me. I'm sure Sora will make her happy once all this is said and done.
Trial's about to resume, Mr. Wright. Come on, let's go finish this series off. Until the inevitable next game.
Alright, you ready, Maya?
Ready like Freddy, Nick! Yep, let's go!
I'll be ready for you, Nick! But seriously, you better throw Soren in jail, alright? So I can hook up with Ellie. Do it! Do it, asshole! Okay, God! Duh. Alright, we'll bother you in every case in the future. September 23rd. This is record number 6! Okie dokie, guys. Here we go. This is it. The moment of demon truth and justice. This course now back in session. Oh, getting nostalgic. Witness, please take the stand. Steampunk Butler Man. Please say your name and occupation.
My name is Pierce NicoB. I'm the Sprocket family butler.
Let's get straight to the point, Mr. NicoB. You did it, didn't you? Someone tore out a page from Mr. Sprocket's notebook to manipulate his memories. Ugh. And that person was you, wasn't it?
That is correct. What about it?
Well, that was easy. So why did you do it? Why did you tamper with Mr. Sprocket's notebook?
Please allow me to explain. It pains me to do this, but I will tell you the truth.
It pains you.
That is correct. For my testimony will go against Master Soren's wishes.
Soren's wishes? What's he talking about? What you talking about? Pierce? Why I tore out the page?
I rushed to the Vista deck, but the crime had already been committed. I saw Miss Ellen and Bloomsberry collapsed, and Master Soren writing in his notebook. Master Soren said to me, "I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen." But I went against his order. I tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body.
Wait a second. Well, Mr. Sprocket was writing his notebook at the time. Could it be? It was meant to be a confession. An admission he killed Bloomsberry himself. Wrote that message to take the blame for Miss Wyatt.
That is correct. Master Soren did hit Bloomsberry with the timekeeper to save Miss Ellen.
Then Mr. Sprocket was the culprit after all.
However, that blow did not kill Bloomsberry.
That makes sense. Mr. Sprocket's injury wouldn't allow him to put much force into it.
Enraged, Bloomsberry tried to attack Master Soren, who was already seriously wounded. But just in the nick of time, Miss Ellen hit Bloomsberry from behind and finished him off, it would seem.
So the one who inflicted the fatal blow was the defendant.
Yes, that is correct. But Master Soren tried to take all of the blame onto himself.
No way! This is pretty bad, Nick.
No kidding. Pretty bad is an understatement.
You know, it's like... It's hard to imagine that he really wrote that part in there that Soren had killed his sister because he was driving the car. Just because he seems to really care about Soren, I think he's trying to fulfill the dying wish of his sister to take care of him. So that sort of goes against that by, like, saying, hey, you're also the one that fucking killed her, you know? I mean, I suppose there wouldn't be any repercussions for him for having that written in there. And I guess it would remove his motive for wanting to kill Bloomsberry. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting confusing. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems your decision to call him for Mr. NicoB has backfired. Ha ha! In your face. Boom! Big hand. For the true culprit behind this case remains the defendant, Ellen Wyatt.
Ah! Could this get any worse? But Pierce was involved in the cover-up plot. I bet he still has something to hide. All right. Bring it on, steampunk butler Bo!
What'd you call me?
I don't know, my words got kind of jumbled there at the end.
Okay, rush to the Vista deck, but the crime had already been committed.
Hold it! What crime? Wait a minute. Thought you went to the Vista deck with the Mr. Sprocket.
Actually, that is not true.
What? What do you mean?
I found this out afterward, but Master Soren went to the Vista deck alone. He went out the escape hatch in the reception hall and went along the outside wall.
Oh, hey! Ha! I was right about that after all!
What? You can't be serious! You mean Mr. Wright's addle-pated guess was actually correct?
What's with the addle-pated?
I suppose truth really is stranger than fiction!
And that's the power of love.
So, Mr. NicoB, by the way, I want you guys to point out that
The power of love could also have sort of been a bit of a loose reference to Back to the Future, you know, the song for Back to the Future.
They even played in that song in the very first movie, at the beginning of the movie.
That's the power of love.
When you got to the scene, you saw Mr. Bloomsberry, Miss Wyatt, and Mr. Sprocket. Is that right?
That is exactly right.
I saw Miss Ellen and Bloomsberry collapsed and Master Soren writing in his notebook.
Hold it.
So when you and your group arrived at the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed.
That is correct. Bloomsberry had already been struck. Miss Ellen had lost consciousness, probably from the shock of the incident.
And how did Mr. Sprocket appear?
He was bleeding from the stab wound he'd received from Bloomsberry. Barely conscious, he was writing something in his notebook.
So the mysterious third person Ellen saw really was Soren then?
Or was it?
Master Soren said to me, I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of Ellen.
So Mr. Sprocket wrote a note of confession in order to take the blame for Miss Wyatt.
Yes. That notebook is the only form of memory Master Soren has. So you understand what his action meant, I trust.
What did it mean, Nick?
To Soren, everything in that notebook is true. So Soren tried to take the blame by altering his own memory to make himself think he did it.
No.
Yes!
Master Soren truly loves Miss Ellen. It must have been love that made him do that.
But I went against his order. I tore the page out of his notebook and hid the body.
Mr. NicoB, could you please tell us court about that in more detail?
That, you say? Which part do you mean, Mr. Wright? Could you be more specific?
Oh, alright. What part do I want to know more about?
The hiding the body, the tearing the page out. Hiding the body. We haven't talked about the handle.
Please tell me more about the hiding of the body.
Very well. Let me go ahead and dust off my monocle. After saying that he would take the blame, Master Soren passed out. That's when I hid the body. I quickly took the lift down to the hold, where I hid Bloomsberry's still warm body in the spare peggable lantern.
So it was you who hid the body, not the defendant.
To think Mr. Butts would move the lantern containing the body to the reception hall. Well, I did not see that coming.
I don't blame you. Even Larry can predict what Larry will do next. Damn straight, dude! Oh, Larry, you heard that. That was in my brain, dude. I know! I think all those cracks made me mind here, dude. I should take another look at the lantern in evidence.
Mr. Wright, would you like that statement down to the witness's testimony? Yes, please.
Blah. Yes, please.
Very well. Please add statement to your testimony, Mr. NicoB.
In the hold, I hid the still warm body in the spare Pickle lantern. And then we're trying to show here is that he wasn't actually dead, though, was he? Because there was a bloodstain on the inside, which shows that he must have tried to open the door to get back out again. So, like, I'm guessing the bloodstain must be he, like, touched the back of his head, got some on his hand, and then opened the door to get out.
Objection!
There we go. Could it be? Is that what happened? What I'm thinking is true. Then maybe I can prove neither Ella nor Soren did the deed. Mr. NicoB, you said the body was still warm when you hit it, correct? So then, what if Mr. Bloomsberry was still alive when you went to put his body inside the lantern? What? What? That's preposterous! Outrageous and great preposterous! Actually, this shows that the victim might still have been alive while inside the lantern. I'm afraid you'll have to point out which part you're talking about, Mr. Wright. This part shows the victim might still have been alive inside the lantern. Well, it's this thing, but Emma put it in the wrong place. Damn it, Emma! As you can see, the back end of the lantern is a door. And there's blood on the wheel handle.
Objection!
Objection! That blood stain must have gotten there when the witness put the body inside the lantern. It in no way shows that the victim drew his last breath while he was still within the lantern. Blah, blah, blah. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. For you see, in putting this lantern back together, the police inadvertently placed the inside handle on the outside, and vice versa. In other words, the wheel handles got swapped. Oh my! So they got swapped? So I just said, Your Honor! Yes, they got swapped! What? But that's ridiculous! Not at all. Compare the other male Pickle lantern in the reception hall. You open up his butthole like so. It's quite obvious the wheel handles were attached backwards. The detective in charge of the restoration will see me in my office later. Sorry, Emma, but you suck. And good luck. In that case, what does the blood stain on the wheel handle mean? The bloodstain didn't get there by chance. When the victim was put inside the lantern, he was only unconscious, not dead. When he regained consciousness, he probably tried to get out of the lantern. So he grasped the inner wheel handle, and that's when the blood got on it. This proves that the victim was still alive when he was inside the lantern.
At the time, I was completely convinced Bloomsberry was dead. Had I checked more carefully, he might have survived.
Unfortunately, to be sure, but not significant enough to change this trial's outcome. Blah, blah, blah. Again, I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. It actually has a very significant impact on this case. The victim was struck by the defendant, then died from his injuries sometime later. There's nothing more to it.
Objection!
Objection! That's where you're wrong! I said you're wrong! Let's take another look at Mr. Bloomsberry's autopsy report, shall we? Please focus on the description of his injuries. It says one contusion was found on the back of the head, and one on the side. Yes, the one Mr. Sprocket gave him, and the one Miss Y delivered to finish him off. No, the defense would like to submit a different interpretation. A different interpretation? The victim was knocked unconscious by the first blow, and was then put into the lantern. Then, what about the lethal blow by the defendant that the witness talked about? Blah. Yes, well, that didn't happen. After some time, when the victim regained consciousness and tried to get out of the lantern, that's when he received the second blow that finished him off. Taking into account the fact that the victim was alive for a period after the first hit, and that he did receive a second blow to the head, it does seem entirely possible. Yes, as long as the first blow didn't kill the victim instantly, then there's a possibility that someone other than Mr. Sprocket or Miss White delivered the fatal blow. Huh, that's all you've got. Even if there was a timeline between the two blows, the prosecution's position doesn't change. What? What do you mean? It's elementary, Mr. Wright. Oh, God, don't say that, you fucking douche. At the reception, when the defendant was cleaning up the reception hall, the victim, who was supposed to be dead, suddenly came out of the lantern. The defendant grabbed the murder weapon, which was right there, and finished him off. That theory sounds awfully familiar.
Of course it does, Your Honor, because this is exactly what I proposed at the very fucking start. If only Wright was goddamn listening. Ha! The second blow was inflicted by the defendant after all. I see. It seems a tangle of mysteries is unraveled into a single thread.
Objection!
No! But as long as there's a possibility the fatal blow is delivered by a third person, then we must continue the deliberations.
Give it up, Mr. Wright. Unless you have something to prove the presence of your precious third person.
Okay, Nick, just relax. You can do this. Gotta go deep in your brain. Come on now, take some deep breaths.
Okay. I'm hyperventilating. Good idea. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
There. Don't you feel better already?
That's right. Should calm down. Get my focus back and go over everything again. Wow. New Maya, you're so much more supportive than old Maya. Old Maya would be like,
Suck it up, Nick. God, fucking pussy. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
and then hopefully I'll be able to find something to prove there was a third person. Let's see. First, why did Bloomsberry attack Ellen?
Because he was tired of taking the blame for the accident?
Something about that line of reasoning just doesn't feel quite right to me.
No? How come?
Well, it's just a personal vendetta. He'd already stabbed Soren. So why, then, was he so determined to go after Ellen?
You're right. This whole thing feels too premeditated for a crime of passion.
But Bloomsberry didn't seem to have a personal grudge against Ellen.
So maybe, I was gonna say, no. Ellen remembers being attacked by Bloomsberry, right? I was thinking, well, maybe it was like the butler or actually attacked Soren and stuff because he's not gonna remember, right? And Ellen, but Ellen would have remembered that, so that's not right.
Bloomsberry didn't have a personal reason to attack Ellen then.
You've taken long enough, Mr. Wright. Now it's time for some action. Action! What proof do you have that a third person was involved?
All right, I'll show you. Not completely sure of what I'm doing yet, but it looks like I'm out of time. This piece of evidence proves the involvement of a third person. I kind of doubt Ellen's statement is going to be enough to substantiate that.
Then we're coming back to this note, because it just doesn't make sense that Bloomsberry had this, right?
Yeah. I get it now. Now I see why this note bothered me so much when I first saw it.
It sounds more like the send her off from the Vista deck, like I'm trying to tell her to, like go away, like get out of sight.
It's like a note outlining the murder plot.
It was apparently written by the victim.
Why would he feel the need to write instructions to himself like this? Your Honor, please take a look at this note.
Oh, so wait, no, he did write it. So he sent Ellen off because he was trying to just get Soren?
This is the victim's murder plan, right? It's definitely a murder plan. But what if Mr. Bloomsberry didn't write this note himself? Okay, we're saying he didn't write it. What?
Okay, alright. This is how you intend to conjure up your mysterious third party, Mr. Wright. Can you even prove that the note wasn't written by the victim?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Very well, then. Please present your evidence, Mr. Wright.
This evidence proves the victim didn't write the note.
Oh, of course. I should have seen this. I'm so stupid. We even brought up, at some point, we brought up that Bloomsberry was actually left-handed dominant. I should have realized, oh, then that means that the smear here isn't from him writing the note because he's left-handed. It wouldn't have left a smear like that.
Which bit of evidence had that again? Is it the autopsy report? Oh, no, there it is. The
Bloomsberry's dominant left hand. Honestly, this should have hit me immediately, the fact that it's like, oh, we're saying he's left-handed.
Take that!
How does that connect to the other bits of evidence? Oh, right. This is the weapon Mr. Bloomsberry used to stab Mr. Sprocket.
I was wondering what you pull out this time. Dare I ask what that could possibly have to do with the note?
Mr. Bloomsberry's prints were found on this candelabra, and the prints were from his left hand.
So, that makes the victim left-handed, correct?
Yes, well deduced, Your Honor. Exactly, Your Honor. Police looked into it, too, and confirmed as much. Now, take a look at the smudge writing in this note. Notice how the smudging only starts from the middle of each preceding line. Had this been written by Lefty, The writing was smudged from the far left end. This means that whoever wrote this note is definitely right-handed. In other words, somebody other than the victim wrote this note.
What? But if someone other than Mr. Bloomsberry wrote it, then what does this note mean?
Mr. Bloomsberry followed this note to the letter when he attacked Miss Wyatt. So clearly, this note isn't a murder plan written by Mr. Bloomsberry, but rather, these are instructions to kill Miss Wyatt, issued by somebody else.
It wasn't the victim who wrote these so-called instructions. Then who wrote it? Most of the people involved are right-handed, you know.
Oh, so Pierce actually instructed Bloomsberry to do this? He is correct. Majority of the family and their employees who are on the airship are indeed right-handed. I must say, that's a very rough and slipshod conjecture you propose.
Ah! Shut up, NicoB! I admit I haven't figured out who wrote it just yet.
Leave it to Mr. Edgeworth to go for the jugular.
This culprit who ordered Bloomsbury to attack Ellen had to be someone high up, right? What could their motive have been?
Doesn't seem very likely that Ellen did anything to incur anybody's wrath, right?
Right. Not too likely, anyway. In that case, it has to be about Soren.
If somebody were to hold a grudge against Soren, what would it be about?
That accident, I guess. I can understand if Bloomsbury felt resentful about having to take the blame.
But the one who lost the most at that accident was Soren's sister. She lost her life, after all. Soren suffered too, of course. He was crushed by losing somebody so precious to him.
Somebody precious, huh? Soren's sister. Wait! There's one more demon person! There's someone else who must hold a grudge against Soren.
Did you figure something out?
I think so. I think there's somebody else used Bloomsbury to try and get revenge against Soren.
Did you say somebody tried to get revenge against Mr. Sprague and Mr. Wright?
So he really did try to pin this on Soren, even though the dying wish of the sister was for Pierce to protect Soren. I find that rather unusual. I guess, okay. But he's still, even at the end here, it does seem like he's still trying to protect him, right?
He may have more to take the blame off himself. The person who manipulated and used Mr. Bloomsbury was Soren's father, the family elder, his fiance. Here we go. The person who used Mr. Bloomsbury to try and get revenge on Mr. Sprocket, and then finish Mr. Bloomsbury off to silence him, was a man dear to Mr. Sprocket's older sister, Selena Sprocket's fiance. Not that I'm not positive, but it's certainly possible. His fiance could have made Bloomsbury attack Ellen to get his revenge on Soren.
But, what? Her fiance?
Okay, here we go. This is where we're gonna make connection with the watch. You really should have switched that watch out, man.
Order in the court! Order, I say! Yes, it does seem quite believable that Miss Selena Sproggett's fiance would bear a grudge against Mr. Sprocket for his role in the accident.
Blah. Exactly, Your Honor. Maybe her fiance was trying to murder Miss Wyatt in order to make Mr. Sprocket experience the same pain he'd felt. Objection!
Okay.
Okay. Maybe so.
Miss Sproggett's fiance was a surgeon, if memory serves. But the only people who attended the reception were family and staff members.
Blah, blah. That may be. But that just means that Miss Sproggett's fiance must have been Larry! Among those who attended!
What? Really?
Of course. Otherwise, how could he have killed Bloomsberry?
Oh, I see what you're doing. It's just another giant bluff, isn't it?
All right, I'll bite. Who exactly you claim this fiance to be? Yes, I would like to know as well.
Are you sure you're gonna be okay, Nick?
Maybe. When it comes to suspicious people, there's only one person on my list. I need to find something that connects him to Selena. This will help us identify Miss Sproggett's fiance. Okay. Okay, here we go. Finally. Boom. Please take a look at this photo, Your Honor.
That photo.
Notice Miss Sprocket's pocket watch. Haven't we seen it somewhere before?
Yes, now you mention it, I do feel as though I've seen it somewhere before. Very recently, maybe even like 30 seconds ago.
I believe we've all seen it. Right here in this very courtroom. Like, seriously, how stupid do you have to be? I'm sorry, like, that's a bit of a, well, an incredible blunder on the quote-unquote killer's part. Let me go ahead and just, like, carry this thing around that connects me to Selena's sister. Like, if he was really trying to get away with it, I think he could have done fine with just putting the watch somewhere else for the time being, you know? I mean, that was a precious thing for her, but come on, get a different watch, you idiot! You're part of this rich-ass family, you can afford it! Ah! Impossible! Blah. That's right. Parker watching this photo. My God! It's the same pocket watch Mr. NicoB has on him right now! What? I'm sure people will say, like, argue, well, he didn't realize the existence of that picture or something, but come on. I mean, he knew the importance of this watch and how that could easily connect him to Selena. It's better to be safe than sorry, you know? I'm just saying, it was just fucking stupid if he really didn't want to get caught. This is clear proof of a strong connection between Pearson NicoB and Selena Sprocket. No. Well, Mr. NicoB, is this true? Unless he wants to get caught. I don't know. Mr. NicoB, you were once engaged to Selena Sprocket. That pocket watch. You keep it as a memento of her, don't you? Although I suppose he could just say, oh, it was just a gift. I'm just a friend. Mr. NicoB, you plan to rob Mr. Sprocket of his loved one to make him feel the same pain as you. Isn't that right? Ah, yeah, okay. But Mr. Sprocket managed to fight back and knock Mr. Bloomsberry unconscious. You thought Mr. Bloomsberry was dead and hid his body in the lantern. Man, it is really late today. But then you noticed Mr. Bloomsberry regained his consciousness. And so you finished him off to prevent your plan from being exposed. Get wrecked! This is the defense's take on what really happened in this murder case. Mr. Wright, does this mean you wish to officially accuse this witness of the murder of Dumas Bloomsberry? Of course I do! Fade to black! Does the defense accuse Mr. NicoB of the murder? Yes, duh! Defense indicts Pierce NicoB on the charge of murdering Dumas Bloomsberry. Oh my! Well, Mr. NicoB, do you care to respond?
Man, this lord just yaps on and on and on and on. As a guest, this watch is memento of Selena. Stopped working at the time of the accident, though.
Oh. Then you really are. Uh-oh. It's gonna have a sudden change in personality here.
Yes, I was Selena's fiancé. And not just her fiancé, but the surgeon beside her deathbed.
Yeah, I knew that too. Objection! Mr. NicoB, why didn't you tell me any of this before?
Shut it, you useless prosecutor. I thought you could be of use, but apparently this case was too much for you.
Oh boy, yeah. What did you say?
If your office hadn't stuck its nose all up in this, I could have swept it under the rug. Not only did you interfere with the case, but you even let me fall under suspicion.
That's because you kept trying to cover things up on the sly. Covering things up wasn't your only involvement. The only person who had a motive to use the victim to try and kill Miss Wyatt was you. Ah. Boom! Oh, here we go, guys.
Okay, enough messing around.
Oh, here we go. Surgeon persona. Oh, look at that. Don't touch me, I'm sterile!
Malignant tumors. There are malignant tumors in this courtroom. Lesions oozing with false charges. Scalpel. The tumors are one idiotic lawyer and one useless prosecutor. After the truth is revealed, I'll have the both of you incised from the legal world.
Oh, silly little bugger. You know who you're talking to. Huh. I'd like to see you try, bitch.
The power of the Sprocket family would be a cinch.
What the fuck?
I will now begin the operation.
What in the world happened to Mr. Nickety?
Oh my god, he met and guarded us! Looks like he's finally showing his true demon colors.
Nick, look what he did to that super shoulder back!
He turned into that thing for Mega Man Legends. That's what it makes me think of, actually.
Quit your yapping before I suture your chatty lips shut.
It's like he's a completely different person.
It's like a mad scientist. Sure looks like it, or Dr. Frankenstein. We can't let our guards down! Mr. Nickety, it's finally time for you to testify to the truth. Seems we're entering the final act at last. Here we go. Even I can tell this is the final act of this fucking case. Witness your testimony, please. Wow, okay.
Get ready for a lot of
Surgeon jargon and metaphors.
Right to remain silent.
He's not gonna say anything.
Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses.
That was good testimony. Mr. Nickety, why didn't you say anything? What? Alright, let's take a picture of me! Or something! Oh my god, he stole my soul! Oh, what the hell?
He sees spiky hair! You want me to voluntarily testify, hoping I will make a slip of the tongue. Not a very impressive plan. Or brain, I might add.
Ow! That was uncalled for. Wow, you can really get the hair on that thing? Jeez. What's in these hair strands of mine?
If you want to know something, you ask the question. I will answer, but I have no intention of making any voluntary statements of my own.
Ah!
What's he trying to do, Nick?
He's using the silent treatment as a strategy to avoid getting tripped up. Clever guy. Clever girl!
No more lies, Mr. Nickety. You will tell us nothing but the truth from now on. I've got your brain now, too.
Ah! God, it burns! What do you think you're doing?
He sees Krabbit! No one asked you to speak. Just keep quiet over there and play with your frills.
How dare you! Well, that's just rather unconventional situation, but isn't it always? Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, this is getting interesting. Ooh. Creepy ass dude with his big old freaking gloves.
Don't touch anything. Must stay clean.
Right to remain silent. Alright. Press! Hold it! What do you mean by, You won't speak to voluntarily. And I guess I'll have to ask him something. What question should I ask?
Reason for killing Bloomsberry. Grudge against Soren. Actions on the day of the crime.
Let's go with that. Something more general. On the day of the incident, you were constantly surrounded by your subordinates. Is that right?
Absolutely. I was in someone's line of sight at all times. After all, I was busy taking care of every detail of the event. Mr. Edgeworth, I believe your investigation backs up my claim.
Huh. I got statements that said groups of his subordinates worked with him in rotation. So he was always with someone.
As the prosecutor said, I couldn't even get close to the lantern containing Bloomsberry by myself, let alone kill him.
Just didn't have a chance to get close to the victim alone, huh? Mr. Wright, would you like that statement added to the witness testimony? Yes, please. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like that statement added to his testimony. Very well.
I was always in the company of others. I didn't have an opportunity to murder Bloomsberry. Let's see. See this photo? He's staying by himself there, right?
Objection!
Yeah, there we go. Huh. Mr. Nickety testifies that he was always with someone at the time of the incident and never had a moment alone to commit the crime. Yes, and the police investigation backs the statement up, doesn't it? But there was an opportunity. In fact, one and only one. A moment when Mr. Nickety could have killed Mr. Bloomsberry without anyone noticing.
What?
And the one thing that made that moment possible. Freaking fog, is shown here in this photograph.
Hold it.
With all those people watching, I couldn't possibly have committed murder. I do not believe him, Your Honor. This lawyer is a malignant tumor. Must infect this judicial body with violent accusations.
Mr. NicoB, I would ask that you keep quiet this time. We need to evaluate the defense's claim. And your yammering only serves to throw further suspicion your way. Ah. Mr. Wright, let's see this one thing you mentioned. But be warned. This had better not be one of your offhanded claims.
Isn't it always, though, Edgeworth? Who do you think you're talking to, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please point out for us the one thing that made the moment of the murder possible.
At one moment when it was possible for Mr. NicoB to kill Mr. Bloomsberry. The thing that made this single moment possible is this! Fog. The one thing that made the moment of the murder possible is this thick mood fog that engulfed the entire reception hall. It's under the cover of this fog. Oh man, Mr. NicoB murdered the victim. God, seriously, that is ballsy though. What if he had hollered out when he did that? I guess I made that really loud music playing. Da, 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 da.
What?
Mr. NicoB was standing right next to the lantern that Mr. Bloomsberry was in. It was the only moment the murder could have been committed without being seen. Objection!
I can accept that there was a moment when the witness was obscured by others by fog. But that doesn't prove Mr. NicoB killed the victim at that very moment. If you can't prove the crime was committed during the reception, the trial ends here.
Ha! I was so caught up in finding a foothold that I forgot to think that far ahead. Well done, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time to call this trial's time of death.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove the murder happened during the reception?
Don't even bother. This claim is dead on arrival. Victory's within your grasp, prosecutor.
Quiet, witness! I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. Yes! Post-Ace Attorney Investigations Edgeworth is back again. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation.
Edgeworth! Enough of this, Your Honor. This trial is over.
No, Mr. NicoB. That is for me to decide. Me and my big, beautiful, gorgeous beard. Mr. Wright, can you prove it? Can you prove that the murder was committed during the wedding's reception?
Why is there no verdict yet? The lawyer's obviously out of answers. The prosecutor, the judge, they're all infected. The malignant stupidity is so advanced, not even the best surgeons can save them. In fact, not even a brain transplant can cure them. This court's infected with idiocy. It's a pandemic. Mr. NicoB, that's enough already. Finally ready to give up, are you? No, just the opposite, actually. I'll prove the murder was committed during the reception. By you.
Ah! The cock got bopped up and smacked with the head.
Prove it.
Can you really, Mr. Wright?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. To be honest, I don't know exactly how I'll do it just yet. But if I want to get to the truth Edgeworth was talking about, just have to find that way.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Let's have your proof.
Enough of this foolishness. It's just bluffing. Stop him from speaking, Your Honor.
I will do nothing of the sort, you crazy asshole.
I'm just a district court judge. The power of the Sprocket family,
Enough of your foolishness, Mr. NicoB. This judicial body will not succumb to the influence of money or power. Now then, let's hear it, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your truth.
Think, Phoenix. Remember everything you've learned so far. Oh, here we go. Now we're gonna jump into my brain. You can do this. You can find the definitive evidence that leads to the truth. Here we go. Jump into my brain. Time to snowboard, guys. Think, Phoenix. How can I prove the murder took place during their wedding reception? If Pierce committed the murder during the reception, then he had to have used
his shoulder mech fixer-upper. The reception photo. The murder weapon.
Boom!
Probably the key, right?
Yes, the weapon that was used to strike the victim twice. According to the autopsy report, the victim was hit by the same object both times. So without a doubt, Pierce used it to commit the murder. The weapon used to kill Bloomsberry was the timekeeper, the candelabra, the key of love. No, the timekeeper. Boom! The timekeeper was the murder weapon. Pierce struck the victim during that one single demon moment. Then he must have used the timekeeper. Come to think of it, was it also used for something else during the reception? During the reception, the timekeeper was also used for
The cutting of the time machine, the first startup of love, the first taste of love.
What do we call it again?
It's called the first startup of love?
Yeah. Timekeeper have been activated.
Activated!
That's right, the timekeeper had been activated during the reception. If we activate the timekeeper again now, find any trace evidence of the murder, that would be conclusive proof that Bloomsberry was killed during the reception. My brain.
So like something inside of it, right? That couldn't have gotten inside unless it had been already activated.
Special ceremony took place during the reception in question.
What kind of special ceremony?
Blah. It was called the first startup of love. Apparently the couple activated the timekeeper for the first time during it.
Does that mean the timekeeper here in the evidence isn't activated at the moment? And what would happen if we were to activate it? Activate!
I don't know. Why don't we see for ourselves? It'll give us a chance to examine it. And while we're at it, we just might find some conclusive evidence.
No, you can't activate it. Mr. NicoB! You keep quiet or I'll have you thrown out of the court! Or in jail. That's probably what I should say. I'll have you thrown out into the streets and be totally free. Ha! By the way, Mr. Wright, this is supposed to be a time machine, right? We aren't going to travel back in time to the Stone Age or anything, are we? Oh god, then we'll have to fight with Clavier and Doctor again!
No, Your Honor! I don't think we have to worry too much about that, Your Honor.
Yeah, dude, fucking pterodactyls everywhere! So a little nervous, nonetheless, but the truth must be known. Very well, go ahead and start the timekeeper. Send us back to the Stone Age! I'm ready! I'm gonna go full primal, baby! He rips off his gown, he's got fucking just enormous pecs and muscles. I'm that stereotypical diesel asshole guy! Ah!
Whoa, Unji, where have you been hiding these muscles all this time?
For just this frickin' moment, come on!
Do you know how, Nick?
I think so. Maybe.
The bride and groom each had a symbol of their love, and when they put them together, oh, how romantic it was.
Let's see. I think the symbol of the groom's love must be the timekeeper itself. What symbol of the bride's love will fit together with the timekeeper? Oh, I know. This has to be it.
Mr. Wright, are you ready to activate the time machine now?
Blah. Yes, Your Honor. The symbol of the bride's love that is necessary for activating the timekeeper is this cog. Miss White's pendant is the symbol of the bride's love that is necessary for activating the timekeeper.
What? And does that mean you can start up with Miss White's pendant?
I believe so, Your Honor. Somehow.
Very well. Please try it out, Mr. Wright.
Okay, here we go. First I have to figure out where the pendant goes. Okay, let's just have a little look-see.
Oh, right here.
On the tip of the blimp.
It's a propeller. Sound to look like the hands of a clock. Got something to do with that. Oh, really? I had to stick it on, like, on the tip there. And, okay.
Oh, no. It looks exactly like the cog. I need it on the other side of the cog. Right?
Why not? Oh, there we go. So it looks like it's a good spot. I'll try. Oh, it's right next to the other cog. I see. I'll try setting the pendant in here. It fits. Must be the right spot. I have to find a place to insert the key. Okay.
Actually, am I right? Do I stick it in the tip of this thing?
It's hole in the middle of the pendant. Could this be it?
Hey, I was right! I stick the end of that in there, yeah! I was right about that, at least. Twist and churn. Woo!
Deck the halls with blood and giblets. Fa la 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 la. This isn't Christmas related. I don't know why I sung this song. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why. I got all my Christmas wedding shit mixed up. Anyway, the tiger has been activated. Now all I have to do is find proof that the crime was committed during the reception. I don't see it anywhere, though. I did not notice it immediately the moment I opened this. I think I found it. Ghost of evidence that the murder was committed during the wedding reception. Thank God for that. Otherwise, I would have really been up shit's creek. Thank God it hit him with the bottom part of it. So I suspected. There's evidence of the murder inside the timekeeper, Mr. NicoB. Timekeeper was only activated and open during the wedding reception, right? No! Stop! So that means this is conclusive proof the crime was committed during the reception. Ah! After you killed the victim under the cover of fog, you closed the timekeeper to hide the bloodstain, didn't you? No, you're wrong. Helen Clay killed Bloomsberry. It wasn't me, I tell you.
Give it up, Mr. NicoB! How could the defendant, who was in the middle of pledging her love, have possibly committed the murder with everyone watching her? It was the family. Yes, all the family members conspired together to kill him.
There's no way you can talk your way out of this, Mr. NicoB. During the reception, during that one dreamlike moment, only one person could have used the timekeeper to beat the victim to death. And that one person was you, Pierce NicoB.
No, this isn't over yet.
I won't give up.
Live! No, I got the artery. This stupid thing. We must stop the bleeding now. Give me forceps. Forceps, I said! Hey, where's everyone? Fine, I'll manage this alone. I'll do it all by myself. I can fix anything, repair anything. Get better. You have to live. You must. I would have been able to save her. If only I hadn't listened to her. If only I had treated her first. If only that Soren hadn't been there. Selena. No.
Ow. Witness, are you finally ready to tell us the truth? Oh, wait, no, he's dead. All right, case closed, guys! Everybody get out of here!
It is just the lawyer deduced.
So it was all a revenge scheme against Soren Sprocket.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to lose someone you love, right in front of you? Selena's condition was clearly more critical than Soren's, but in spite of that, she said,
Please, help Soren.
Miss Sprocket's last words. So that's what she really meant by those words.
I was able to grant her wish, but at the price of her life.
Oh, I see.
She means, don't focus on me, focus your attentions on Soren instead.
Were there not any other surgeons in there that day? To help? There's only one surgeon here. I'm the only one who could do it, and nobody else. So you got a job with Sprocket Aviation and wait for your chance to get revenge. You got close to Mr. Bloomsberry. Hatch this plot. Is that right?
Bloomsberry already bore a grudge against Soren. So when I tempted him with an even better position, he immediately took the bait.
He was your accomplice, someone who shared the same goal as you. Why was it necessary for you to kill him?
I didn't expect Soren to strike Bloomsberry out of on the Vista deck. And I certainly never imagined he'd make his way there along the outside wall.
Soren's love is the real deal after all.
My plan had been compromised, so for the time being, I hid his body in the lantern and tried to think of my next move.
And then Mr. Bloomsberry came to during the second wedding reception.
As soon as I saw Bloomsberry, I instantly hit upon an idea to pin the blame of Bloomsbury's murder on Ellen.
You tried to break up the couple by making the bride out to be a murderer. How despicable!
Soren was getting the company and a wedding. Both things that were supposed to be Selena's. He took every happiness from her. Who's the despicable one here?
Ha! Do you think what you did would make her happy? I know it wouldn't.
But I couldn't just stand by, watching Soren enjoy his happiness. I was going to have Soren taste the same pain I had, and then take over Sprocket Aviation. I would take back from him all the happiness that was rightfully Selena's.
Okay, no, so he did. He just totally fucking hated Soren. I thought he was trying to help him at some points, but no, he definitely wasn't.
Time stopped for me the day I lost her. Just like this pocket watch of hers.
Hold it. Pierce,
Miss Wyatt?
I believe Selena would have said, leave this ill will behind. Your time is yours to live.
It's too late for me. Time will never advance for me ever again. What? It can't be.
Oh.
And the cogs unjammed themselves. I see now, Selena. What I did was wrong.
Too bad, still go to jail. See no further need to continue this trial. Bailiff, please take Mr. NicoB away. Get him out of my sight. He disgusts me. Pierce NicoB, another inconsolable time traveler who lived in a time that stood still. Dead. Oh, that was a tense last little bit, wasn't it? Alan, I must render my verdict regarding the event. Huh?
Your Honor, before you give your ruling, would you please allow me a moment?
Very well.
Ellen, there's something I need to say to you.
Yes, Soren?
I put you through something truly horrible. This whole thing happened, all because of me. I would understand if you want to call off our marriage.
What? Of course not. I've never once thought that.
If you stay with me, you'll only face even more trying times in the future.
What do you mean?
The truth of this incident, and the car accident before it. I'm going to tell the public everything. I expect the company's reputation will suffer, and I'll take a lot of criticism. But I feel I can only really start over once I get everything out in the open.
Soren.
After all that's happened, I might not have the right to ask you this, but, well, how should I say this? Maybe I'll just... A life with me probably won't be very easy, but... Will you marry me?
Aww.
Yes, of course.
Oh, and then we see her without her makeup on. Ah, she's got little freckles. And she's like, see her, you know, not fully decked out and not be crying. Well, not sad crying.
Your Honor, thank you for this time. Please, continue with your ruling.
Very well, but first I have one question. Am I invited to the wedding? Do the two of you pledge your eternal love for each other to the goddess of justice, Themis? That's right, I can also marry you guys.
I do, Your Honor.
I do.
Does the prosecution or the defense have any objections?
I do. No, I'm just kidding.
Huh. Well done, Your Honor. No objections here.
The defense has no objections either, Your Honor. Do it.
This court finds the defendant, Ellen Wyatt. Ah, that's not right. This court finds the defendant, Ellen Sprocket. Not guilty! Let the confetti fly! Woo! Aw, that's cute. That was an adorable as fuck ending. Oh my god. This course adjourned, and this series is over. As is Phoenix Wright in general for the time being. I'll see you guys in game 35. Peace out, bitches! September 23rd, 11:36 a.m. District Court, Friendly Alarm number 3!
Ellen, Soren, congratulations.
Mr. Wright, I can't thank you enough. If you hadn't exposed the truth, Soren and I wouldn't. We wouldn't.
Now you can finally start a new life together, right?
Mr. Wright, we'll be holding our real wedding ceremony in the near future. Would you do us the honor of coming to it? I want you to witness our fresh start.
Of course. Wouldn't miss it for the world. And Ellen, this time, you'll finally be happily ever after, right?
Oh, yes.
Two of you have persevered and overcome this trial together. Now, no matter what obstacles come your way, I'm sure you'll be able to handle them. There's another thing I'm sure of, too. This person will always be watching over the two of you. That's right. This broken lantern. No, I'm sorry. I mean, this dead, lifeless fucking Bloomsberry. He'll be watching over you from the great beyond. Selena Sprocket.
Selena, yes, I think you're right. We promised to live life to the fullest. For Selena's sake, too. Right, Soren?
That's right. Well, we better be on our way.
Yes, my love.
Oh.
Ah! Oh, go get him, Soren, yeah!
Oh my god, Soren is getting so late tonight.
Ugh, yes! Wow, the old threshold carry, huh? Way to show off, you fucking stud. You got some muscles, man, yeah!
That's right. He rips his shirt off. He's actually diesel shit, too.
We'll be seeing you. Goodbye for now.
I'll be looking forward to that wedding.
Hold on tight, Ellen.
You better believe I will. I'm never letting you go.
Oh! Oh! Hey! There they go! Oh! Where are they going? Through the roof! There they go. Wait, seriously? Ah, damn it! You guys supposed to hold my ceiling! Ah, I thought the Apollo was gone. I won't have to worry about this shit anymore.
You're not thinking of going to that oh.
You're thinking of going to that wedding by yourself, are you, boss? It's me. Ah, I'm back. I escaped Tracy. I have a happy ending, too. You dig us too, right? Oh boy, I bet there's gonna be all kinds of fancy food there.
All you ladies ever think about is food. Athena, when did you get here? Weren't you dead? I thought you were dead.
Just now. Would have been here to cheer for you guys on earlier, but just never give me a chance to slip away.
You're going to be in even bigger trouble with her later. Speaking of the wedding, maybe I should ask them to invite Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, really? Boobies! But he thought I almost get you all the way to the end.
That may be true, but
Let's flash back to, oh god.
don't even bother. His claim is dead on arrival. Victory is within your grasp, prosecutor.
Shut up, dummy! Quiet, witness. I have no interest in victory. All I care about is the truth. One that we can only arrive at through further deliberation. That's right, I have learned many things throughout this series.
If he hadn't stood up for us when he did, the trial would probably have ended there and we all would have died.
You mean Mr. Edgeworth gave us the chance?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess. Though knowing him, I doubt he'd ever tell, even if I asked.
Well, that's how you feel about it, Nick. And why not try to get him invited?
Yeah, he'll be my +1, right, Edgy?
Hell yeah, baby.
Come here.
Yes! I've been waiting for this moment! Wow, boss. I thought you might have been gay, but I didn't realize quite how gay.
Shut up, Athena. Don't understand our sweet, amazing love. Let's be honest, this is what every fucking Phoenix Wright fan wants anyway.
It's true. It fucking is, right?
Who am I gonna hook up with by this point in the game, right? In this series? Dolly, his twin sister? No, she's fucking dead, alright? It's all sides to Edgeworth. Let's do this.
Hey, Maya, have you ever tried to catch the bouquet? What? No? I never have either. I'm gonna fight you for it, bitch. Fighting over a bouquet that's been tossed by the bride. Talk about a fierce competition. I'm totally stoked. You're gonna know, Maya! I'm not sure it's really supposed to be all that competitive. I'm a pretty good jumper, so I think I've got a chance. You know what? I just gotta realize that this may be the first time we've ever talked to each other. Well, right, actually, like, being directly involved.
She's definitely missing the point of the whole thing.
Ah!
And Larry, how'd you manage to stay so quiet for so long? I know, dude. Well, my work here's done. Shut up! Wish the lady you fell in love with every happiness is what a real man does. Pretty sure our relationship was over before it even began, Larry. Darn it all! If only I was 10 years younger, things would have gone differently. 'Cause yeah, we all know I was a real stud back in the original trilogy. I got so much puss, man. Hands of time, won't you turn back for me? I'm gonna die alone. Yep, probably.
September 30th, 9:20 a.m. Sprague Park, Mooring Dock.
Today is Ellen Soren's third wedding ceremony and reception. We're getting it right this time, guys, really. Or the bride and groom insisted to be on the flying chapel again. Right next to Bloomsberry's dead, lifeless body. They brought him back for some reason. I don't know. Those two are kind of fucked up. Yeah, they were nice enough to invite me and Maya. And Athena kind of invited herself.
I'm still relevant, sir!
I also invited Edgeworth, Emma, and even Larry. Why Larry? God. Said third time's the charm, right? I really do hope it's happily ever after for them this time around. Still, get the feeling it's gonna be one rowdy party. Get an animated cutscene here?
You are.
Oh yeah. Oh my god!
Okay. Here we go.
The girls even have different outfits here.
Huh?
Oh! Apollo catches it.
Hey! Look who's next!
Yeah, right. Ah!
Guess again, Larry.
Oh my god.
Haven't you ever heard of ladies'
I'm truly blessed to have you.
Ah, it's so cute. I like her little freckles. She shouldn't cover them up with makeup. Oh, and that's it. This is it.
The end.
Woo!
Oh, that was cute. I thought for sure it would be Apollo just randomly in the audience. He caught it.
Oh, hey, sweet. I guess that means I'm gonna be the next to get hooked up. Maybe it'll happen the next Ace Attorney game, where Phoenix dies and I rise to become the true star of the series. And I found myself a girl and...
It's me, Trissy!
Oh no! That's not the twist I wanted. No! I get extra, like some new stuff. Extras and oh, I probably got new cutscenes from the DLC case. Yeah, anime illustrations. All right, we include literally everything, including like the cutscenes and stuff too. Yeah.
All right, guys. And with that, we are now completely finished with Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice. I will say the second half of that case was miles better than the first half. So much better. Like, man, it really did sort of turn itself around for me. From something that was, I think, initially going to be kind of a negative experience to it. No, actually, it was a pretty positive experience, I think. It had a really nice ending. I thought the, like, Pierce's sudden, like, change of personality was pretty cool. And, I mean, Pierce wasn't exactly a, like, hard to figure out who the bad guy was, I feel like. I feel like the moment I saw him, I'm like, this guy looks like he could probably have a weird freak out because he's got the shoulder thing. And Soren just didn't, like, when I know I initially said, oh, it's probably the fiance, right? And then I saw Soren, and then I saw the butler, and I was like, no. I think we definitely see who the real freak out potential is gonna be. I don't know, I mean, there weren't that many people involved in this case, so, I mean, even then, it wasn't, like, gonna be that hard to figure out. But I think more of it maybe how done it. I mean, I still figured out he was the fiance, and it was gonna be from the watch and shit like that, but
the specifics of it, like, they really just hated Soren's guts. There was nothing in it that he was trying to help Soren with. I don't know if that... Does that make sense then, like, compared to, like, in regard to things that he did help him with? Like, did he help him in some spots? Well, no. The point was not to kill Soren. He wanted Soren to feel the pain of losing someone he loved, right? So have Ellen thrown in jail. Like, I was thinking along the lines of getting Soren killed, right? Revenge by just killing Soren. But no, he wanted revenge in a different way. So yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think it was a perfect case by any stretch of the imagination, and we've definitely had better ones. And honestly, in comparing this case to the rest of the game's cases, I still think this is the weakest one. But it definitely redeemed itself in the second arc, the second half of it. Also, I will say, did that final confrontation with Pierce seem kind of short to you guys? Like, I swear, we only had like 2 testimonies from him there at the end. But overall, it was a decent DLC case. I'm glad it picked up at the end, because then I would have felt like, God damn it, I spent $5 on Larry! Larry's definitely not worth that much money. But real quick, I want to sort of, since I've already, like, mentioned my thoughts on Spirit of Justice in general, like, this case didn't really change anything for me. It's not like suddenly this game is either better or worse than what I considered it before. It's pretty much in the same place. So now that we've sort of reached the final game for the time being, I just want to talk about my thoughts on the series, as well as my reasons for disliking Larry so much, which, believe it or not, they're sort of connected, and I know it might be hard to believe, but I'll explain in a second. So I gotta say, I have loved Ace Attorney. It's been just incredibly fun to voice all these different characters, come up with lots of new voices, actually. Ad-libbing is always just so much fun in these games. I mean, it is. It's really enjoyable to uncover the mystery behind each of these cases. Now, along the way, there's definitely been quite a few not so good cases. I mean, it's bound to happen. It's not like that's unusual or anything. I think there have definitely been more hits than misses. But there's always a really nice dynamic, I feel like, between characters, you know? The characters that get familiar with one another and they develop a nice bond, and it's just nice to see that sort of grow and nurture over time. And just, you know, when you really get sort of invested in a case with their characters and you start to piece everything together yourselves and you start questioning things, that's the best part right there of Phoenix Wright. That is where the truest level of enjoyment comes from. Like that bit at the end where I was trying to figure out, like, what was he thinking about Soren? Like, how's that working in there? You know, that, like, putting that stuff together yourself is incredibly satisfying. I think it's exactly why this series has prospered for so long, is those feelings of discovery yourself. That said, though, the Ace Attorney series has very much become a bit of a formula by this point, you know? And one that seemed like it had an opportunity to change quite a bit in Apollo Justice, but didn't. You know, they decided to take the safe route and kind of backpedal a bit in the next few games. I think that's one reason why I really liked Apollo Justice was it definitely stuck to the formula a bit. But out of all the games in this series, I believe that game was really the biggest departure. It was the one that really sort of pushed it further than any of these other ones have. Like, with Phoenix being out of a job, but now as a mentor, as a real mentor, not just like, I don't know, I mean, he definitely helped out Apollo later on here, but I definitely wouldn't say he was a mentor. It was the fact that he wasn't also an attorney at the time, you know? So most of his time was spent guiding Apollo and Apollo Justice, you know, and also gathering information himself, which he gave to Apollo to help him uncover the rest of the case. But the fact that he sort of took on Apollo, you know, as the actual mentor and not the main star of the show. I know I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, Phoenix was the one that did all the work in Apollo Justice. I think people are slightly exaggerating that. I do believe they're underplaying Apollo's significance quite a bit. I still think, I never felt that way, honestly, really, at the end of Apollo Justice. I feel like Apollo did a lot to contribute to that. He wasn't just voicing what Phoenix, like, set out for him. And so there's always been a part of me that's felt that after that series, after we sort of had taken that sort of departure from the norm, that when we backpedaled, we lost a bit of that really good momentum we had. That feeling that the series was going to change to something new and different. And, you know, and that sort of it's kind of brought down these subsequent games for me. You know, that's Dual Destinies and even Spirit of Justice. It's remember that really cool, kind of cocky Phoenix Wright who was up there on the stand and doing shit and showing Apollo the way. It's like, he's kind of gone now. Now we're back to Phoenix sweating buckets and going, oh man, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. And that brings me to my dislike for Larry, believe it or not. I believe Larry represents some of the worst aspects of the Ace Attorney series, in that he is that character that never changes at all. Never. Nothing has progressed or happened or changed with Larry throughout the entirety of the series. And this could be said for a number of different characters that have popped up here and there, you know? Where like by the end, you're like, did they really like learn anything? You know, we'll see them next time and they're back to the way they were. Like maybe it'll seem like they learned something, but then they just revert back to zero the next game or case or something. And Larry is just like that. He represents the obstacle, the guy who just for no reason at all will just give you shit and make things a problem for you. Like seriously, there's really no legitimately good reason for the trouble he gives Phoenix. So yes, he is an annoying character, but we've had annoying characters before. It's the fact that he's annoying and he has had no growth throughout the entire series. Think about it this way. Let's say he did come back this case, but instead of being the same Larry, we actually saw a bit of a change in him. Someone who was trying to better themselves. Like maybe he had found a girl who was actually like actively working to make him a better person. Like, so then we would occasionally see him go back to being stupid Larry dude, but then she'd be there right next to him to reel him back in again. Like, I mean, yeah, I'll help out with something, you know? How good would that have been? How great of a character moment would that be for him? After all the stupid shit he's put us through throughout the series, but like, oh, wow, okay, they actually made a decent use of Larry. But nope. Even for this DLC case, they brought him back, and they just had him do the exact same thing they've always had him do. And that's the issue, I feel like, with Ace Attorney in general, is that they're too afraid to take those big leaps with some characters. They just bring him back, and they just have him do the same shit they always do. And I think that's my biggest criticism for this series in general. I wish they took a bit more risk. So yes, that is my main reason for disliking Larry. For all of you guys who are out there who are like, Nico, it's like, what is up with this ridiculous hate for Larry? It just doesn't make any sense. So yes, there is actually a reason beyond him just being annoying to me. So hopefully that satisfies some of you guys. I don't know, probably won't. I know there are a lot of people who still like Larry, and that's fine. Feel free to like him, but that doesn't mean I do. That doesn't mean I have to like him. Now that said, I'm not trying to sour the end of this Let's Play or anything. Like I've said, I have thoroughly enjoyed these series. I've gotten so many different voices and so many amazing moments from playing through these games. Like seriously, just so many good moments. Like that Matt on Gar case was fucking great. Now I know it's Justice for All, and you know a good portion of that wasn't great, but like goddamn, that final case was fantastic. So many of the final cases, honestly, of these games are so good. I really gotta applaud too that Ace Attorney Investigations 2, that's still my favorite one, and that's like, it's so like hard to believe that game ended up being the best one out of all of them when it's based on a character that isn't Phoenix, you know? Someone was one of the side characters, but goddamn did they just hit it out of the park with that fucking writing. It was so good. And this game was fantastic as well. You know, while it isn't my favorite one, or probably even my second favorite, I still think Apollo Justice is my second favorite. This game was still amazing. I loved Apollo's moments in this game. They were so good. He had lovely growth. Getting to learn more about his past, his father, you know, the moments with Dirk were great. You know, with all the goofy stuff in Khura'in, but seeing how it, you know, connected to the spirit channeling, that there was this country that really revolved around the everything that we had sort of built up regarding spirit channeling to this point, you know, with Maya and Pearls, and expanded upon it in that way. It was all really interesting. So I definitely don't regret going through this series, and I don't want you guys to ever think that. I love this series, I've loved these Let's Plays, and I really hope that you guys have as well. I hope you don't take, like, my criticisms against it too seriously, not like, because no game's perfect, you know? I mean, I at least hope you understand where I'm coming from, that I'm not trying to just, like, shit on these games or anything, or characters, because I'm trying to be funny, or I'm trying to be, like, over dramatic or something. I do have reasons behind it, and it's not just, like, for shits and giggles. So, and I generally just, I want the best for these series, you know? I want to see these series break the mold and try new things and experiment, and, you know, that's what makes this shit fun and interesting. But anyway, guys, I really hope you all enjoyed
this Let's Play as well as the Let's Plays for all these Phoenix Wright games in general, because this will likely be the last one for at least a good while. I don't think we've even had an announcement for a Japanese 8th game, right? This is number 7, I think. I think usually the Japanese get it before we do, so and then we get it like a year later. So it's gonna probably be a good while. I know there's Professor Layton, but like I said, it's not really high up on my list right now of priorities. I haven't even played a Professor Layton game, so I feel like I'd be missing half of the required knowledge to even play through it. But if y'all enjoyed this series, please leave a like and a favorite. It really does help me out. And subscribe if you're not already. Become the Picky Penguin, or the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. Now, the question I'm sure you're asking yourselves is, what is Nico gonna play next? Yes, I know some of you were like, oh, Nico, are you gonna now work on the next Council of Voices? Now you finish this? No. Not that soon. I'm still a little burnt after the last episode because that one took a lot of work to get together. But also, it's a bit too soon. I mean, I only sort of just recently started Kiwami, and this was the series I was doing while working on the Council of Voices. But yeah, I'm gonna do at least one more series before getting back to work on the next episode of that. So I think I know what I want to do next. I kind of don't think it's something you guys will probably be expecting, and I know that could be like, oh, that could be fucking anything. I mean, we're kind of in a weird place where I think the next one is not very obvious because there's so many different requests from for so many different games right now that it'd be kind of hard to guess. Like Yakuza Kiwami, a lot of you guys were like, we kind of knew this was coming because I'd already expressed my interest in Yakuza after I finished 0. I was like, oh yeah, this next was, I'm gonna try to get this one soon after a few Let's Plays. So, but I think you guys will be happy about it. And of course, if you do have recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comments. I do still appreciate seeing new recommendations for games. I will also mention that I am aware that, because I have been getting a lot of people mentioning it, I guess I just want to say that yes, I am aware that Steins Gate 0, the ban for Let's Plays for it has been lifted. I saw that the Twitter account that had said initially that there was a ban on it for the company has now said that, oh no, you can Let's Play it now, and I think it's coming out on Steam soon, or is out on Steam or something. So, but I'm just letting you guys know that I am aware of that, so you don't have to keep telling me. But anyway, guys, as always, till next time, stay classy!